Welcome to Brewing with Power. This is Higher, and I'm here to brew a deck / explain a philosophy that I'm working on now. And I'm really excited about talking about this because I wrote an article about this that will be published on something very exciting very soon. And I want to talk about kind of the mindset of where I'm coming from and a little bit about what this deck is going to be about. Before we go any further, I wanted to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Moxfield. Moxfield proves time and time again why they are the best site for brewing and building your Magic the Gathering decks. They have recently launched new features like enhanced tagging for more robust organization, drag and drop across views for easier sorting, and a collection tracker to help you figure out which cards you have for your deck and which ones you need to acquire. This is on top of the already polished features like multiple format support, robust search, and full compatibility across multiple devices. Make sure to make Moxfield your home for all your deck lists, just like Playing with Power has done for over a year. The name of this deck is the Train Named Value. And the main core concept, if there is anything that you would want to get out of this deck, it is that the cards in the deck support each other more than they support themselves. And the big thing I want you to have is really this idea that your cards can help each other as much as possible. And that's what I really want out of this deck. I want this deck to just scream value, and every card that you put in the deck, that you play in the deck, really follows this guideline. Now, this deck, in no way do I think this deck is perfect in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure there's better things that can, utilize the cards in the deck. But in my opinion, this is a great start to this idea. Now, I chose these two commanders because I thought that these two commanders did something very purposeful. Jeska is removal in the command zone. Also, if you're able to make infinite mana, you can use Jeska as a win con. Ishai is also a win con because Ishai can get really large really quickly, and you can use Jeska you can use Jeska's Planeswalker ability to give triple damage to Ishai, and that means Ishai just needs to be a 7/7 to work. Let's talk about a little bit more specifically the commanders. Jeska Thrice Reborn is a 2 generic mana, 1 red Planeswalker. Jeska Thrice Reborn enters the battlefield with loyalty counter on it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. And for 0, you can choose target creature until end of turn. If that creature will deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple that damage to that player instead. And then you can minus X it, and Jeska Thrice Reborn deals X damage to each up to 3 targets. So you can do 3 opponents. Most of the time I'm just removing creatures. That's what I'm doing with this deck. Ishai is a 2 generic mana, 1 white, 1 blue flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Ishai, Ojutai, Dragon Speaker. It is a 1/1, but it gets really big really fast. It becomes a 2/2 the second anyone casts a spell. Really good. So the most, promising thing about this is that Ishai is a slower win con, but you can win pretty quickly with 2 attacks usually with Ishai. Really good. Let's talk about our creatures. Remember, the value is what we want, right? So Esper Sentinel, value. Ragavan, value. Sarah Ascendant, value. Dockside, value. Dranith, stacks piece, stops other people from doing things because we do need a little bit of that in this deck. Gilded Drake, get someone else's stuff. Grand Abolisher, we can't be stopped anymore. Malevolent Hermit, value. Phantasmal Image, value. Aven Mind Sensor, again, this idea we have to slow people down a little bit. Bergie, value. Imperial Recruiter, gets one of our value pieces. Ranger Captain Navios, value. Spellseeker, value. Fury, value. Solitude, value. Wonder and Archaic, value. Right? All of our creatures are doing this, and it's just across the board. Every creature is doing something, and it's nuanced. It can be flexible. These are all ways for us to try our best to make sure that every time we put something on the battlefield, that it does something purposeful. Esper Sentinel is really just drawing us cards here, right? And that tax effect is really good. Same with Ragavan, it's drawing us cards, it's making treasures. Sarah Ascendant it's a 6, essentially, especially if you get it out early. It's a 6/6 lifelink. With Ishai or with Jeska, we can make this an 18/18 lifelink. Like, oh my gosh, that is absolutely backbreaking for anyone who gets hit by Sarah Ascendant. It's like 2 attacks Sarah Ascendant, and you're pretty much out of the game. Like, oh my god. And I'm gaining 18 life. That's just the whole thing. Drannith Magistrate, again, we're just getting stuff. Same thing with Dockside. We're getting all these treasures. We're gonna try to cash Ishai. We're gonna try to cast Jeska a bunch of times. So this just helps with that game plan. Drannith stops people. Gilded, we're gonna take people's things. Grand Abolisher allows us to do some things that I think just we want to be able to play our turn, and I think this does that for us. Malevolent Hermit, it's same thing. It's just value. The backside and the front side are really, really good. Phantasmal Image allows us to get a second copy of Sarah Ascendant if we want. I don't know. I found Phantasmal Image is really good just because everyone else runs creatures. Avid Mind Sensor, Flash, stop people from tutoring. I'm a fan. Bergie here it allows us to play some of our more storm turns, and it combos with a couple cards that I'm going to talk about in a minute. Imperial Recruiter allows us to search for any one of our value engines. I really like Ranger Captain of Eos because that again lets us search for our value engines, and it's a silence. Spellseeker allows us to search for an instant or sorcery. In this deck, Brain Freeze is pretty common in terms of a way for us to look for a win con when we play Underworld Breach. So it's good. Fury, I thought about Fury. Fury is essentially a Jeska for us. I really like that, and it's free. It destroys a lot of things that really get in our way. Solitude, another card that I think is good. It's a free creature spell that gets around Deafening Silence, and it even gets around other opponents. Ranger Captain of Eos is. And then Wonder Archaic is another just huge value engine. These are value engines that we just want to keep pushing out. Okay, sorceries, not too much in the way of value. We have Jeska's Will and Savine's Reclamation. Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune are good cards, but they're not necessarily what we want out of in terms of like value, but Jeska's Will is, and same with Savine's Reclamation. This is going to get a lot of play in this deck. Okay, our instance. Let's take a little bit of a look at what we're running with our instance. Okay, Deflecting Swat, Fierce, Force. Okay, the Fierce Guardianship and Force Negation cannot counter creature spells, and I'm very conscious of this because I want to be able to counter anything that gets on the stack. Okay, so if we have Force of Will, Mental Misstep, Mind Break Trap, so good. Pact of Negation, Brainstorm, and Lightning Tutor, Flusterstorm, Miscast. Okay, Mystical Tutor, right? Orm's Chant, I want to silence players. Pyroblast, Red Blast, silence. Spell Pierce, Swan Song, Swords, Plowshare. Brain Freeze, Cyclonic Rift, Delay. Mana Drain, Muddle the Mixture, Resculpt, Intuition. These are all good cards in their own right, but specifically the ability to silence players in multiple ways is something that I wanted. Now, I had thought about running like some other spells, like just maybe regular Counterspell and Hope of Girapur, but I didn't want to dilute the deck too much, and the reliance on double blue pips was kind of a lot for me, so I chose not to run those cards. Okay, artifacts. These artifacts all give good value. I'm running Sensei's Divining Top because I'm about to get into the enchantments, which are really fun. But these are good cards. Like Sensei's Divining Top is going to help us when we need to keep looking at the top 3 cards. Why do we need to keep looking at the top 3 cards? Well, because we're running Underworld, we're running Counterbalance. Oh gosh, Counterbalance. Value, Mystic Remora. Value, Underworld Breach. Value, As Foretold. Okay, all right, I know. You're looking at the screen, rolling your eyes. As Foretold is one of those cards that just gets there for me, right? The way I see it is turn 1, land, crypt, As Foretold. Turn 2, I play my Esper Sentinel for free, and then I can cast Ishai. Like, okay. And then our value engines are now all on board. We have a draw engine, we have a punish my opponents for casting spells engine, and now we can also cast our 1 CMC instance for free. Like, it just gets better and better each turn it's out, and I want that value to keep it rolling. When it comes to our lands, we have things like Homeward Path, because I don't want my stuff to get stolen, honestly. Cephalid Coliseum, another land that gets in there. There was a couple lands that had recently gotten printed, and I hadn't actually put them in the list at the time that they were printed, but I will at some point. And this is referring to the lands that came out in the New Dynasty set. Once I get a little bit more familiar with those cards, I probably will take a look and add them to the deck, but at this time I have not. So what is our game plan? How do we actually win the game? Well, there's a couple things we can do. First, we can cast Ishai. This is a control list. A lot of the deck is going to look to try and push the game out a little bit so we can really hit people with Ishai, and that's a primary win con for this deck specifically. We just wait our time and we'll get there eventually. Jeska will help us do that. In this deck, how Underworld Breach works, and this happens with a lot of decks sometimes when they aren't able to run Thassa's Oracle, we can do Underworld Breach with the intention of brain freezing everybody and then making them draw a card through like I don't know, Wheel of Fortune. That's what I'm intending to do with this, in terms of like a hard win con that's not just Ishai and Jeska. Let's scroll on down. We have 6 CMC 0 permanents. We have 7 permanents at 1, 12 permanents at 2, and 8 permanents at 3. So when we are using our As Foretold, our goal is to get to 3, and then we can pretty much cast most of the stuff in our deck. When we look at our symbols, 18% of our deck is white, 36% of our deck is blue, and 18% of our deck is red. And we all have the mana to cover that. Great. This is what an opening hand looks like in this deck. Let's look and see what another hand might look like. I would keep this hand in a heartbeat because it does a lot of things I like. So we would keep this hand. This is a turn 2. We can play a Saracen at turn 1. I actually would recommend that. Mystic Remore turn 1 is not where I want to be, at least right now. So we'll search. We Mystery Reinforce. We take a damage. We'll look for a Tundra. We'll tap the Tundra, cast a Saracen, and pass. Go to our next turn, play a land, cast a fish. Swing, gain 6. Sounds good. Now we could pass and pay for fish. We wouldn't be able to play Time Twister, but I actually don't mind not playing Time Twister. I would love to get Jeska out though. That's going to be, I'll probably get Jeska out. Yeah, I'll probably get Jeska out. All right, we'll untap. Let's say we drew a card. Wheel of Fortune, that's awesome. We'll draw another card here. Let's go here, play this, cast Jeska, make Jeska do 0, hit someone for 18. Out of control. Next turn, play City of Clouds, hit someone for 18, kill a player, cast Ishai, pass, gets back to our turn. If this is our board state, again, and we go to draw, Ishai will be big enough to kill somebody, and we'll be able to, yeah, it's too much beats. Let's see, this is one of those hands you can't keep even though you want to. It's just a little rough. Malevolent Hermit, Unstable Harmonics is a card that's in this deck. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, you may draw a card unless that player pays 1. It is really cool. That's really cool art for Ristic Seti. Huh. I like that a lot. That's so cool. Alright, this hand I'd keep. So I'd play a land. I would just cast Ragavan, pass. Land, swing with Ragavan, make a mana. Tap here. I'll tap here, play Mana Vault, cast Ishai. and then pass. Ishai is now, should be pretty big. Cast Jeska, swing, kill someone with Ishai. Like it seemed, I know it won't be unrealistic, but it's 6 spells, and if each player plays 2 spells, that's it. It's a wrap. Yeah, I like it. Oh, this hand is weird. We have access to 3 colors, 2 colors, 2 colors. So we can't do exactly what we want, but beggars can't be choosers. All right, crack this for white. Cast Ishai. Go to our next turn. Play here. Play Jeska. Possibly kill somebody. That's all that is. And that about wraps it up. Thank you so much for joining today on Brewing with Power. I hope you enjoyed today's brew. Again, remember the name of the train is value, and we hope that you enjoyed this deck. If you liked it, please leave a like, a follow, or something. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this deck. Is there any cards that I missed? Is there any cards that you think I should add? Let us know. But until next time, we'll see you later.